Welcome back to Wave of Dalker. This video is episode 2 of My Stuff, which is the temporary title of this series. I just wanted to have a series title in the video for my vinyls one that I did last week. But yeah, My Stuff, episode 2, we're doing CDs. CDs is less of a passion as opposed to manga. Oh my god, I love my manga. We'll do that later. But there'll probably be a bunch of videos though. You can see I have all my Haikyuu. I'm still buying a bunch of those. I have all the JoJo's hardcovers that are out. I'm buying One Piece as they come out. I think that's over there actually. I'm buying the new ones as they come out. I have some of the omnibus editions. Whatever. I like my manga collection. Vinyl. I guess Pokemon plush is kind of like another collection. CD is probably the lesser of all those. Vinyls, manga, Pokemon stuffed animals, stuff like that. I'd probably put Lego ahead of CDs, but I still have a lot of CDs. And we're gonna go through them today in My Stuff episode 2. CDs. Like and subscribe. First up, nope, I just grabbed 2. Lyle Workman, Uncommon Measures. I haven't listened to this album at all. I went to a fundraiser for the radio station that I volunteer at, and the station director was just giving out CDs, and he gave me this one. Lyle Workman, Uncommon Measures. I should probably listen to it since I own it. It was in my trunk for a while. I felt kind of bad, so I took it out of there. Yeah, it looks to be orchestral, potentially. So, I don't know, I'll find out when I listen to it. But yeah, Lyle Workman, Uncommon Measures. Whoop! Next up, Soulja Boy. I think this is self-titled, right? There's an FBI anti-piracy warning on the back. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like just SouljaBoyTellHim.com. Looks like it's self-titled. That's a pretty cool CD. Oh, it just snapped. Oh, it just broke. This is not going well. It just flew across my room. Yeah, that just straight up broke. Yeah, the hinge broke. But yeah, Soulja Boy Tell Him. It's got Crank That. It's got Booty Meat. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just saw it I found this at Goodwill. That's why I bought it, because it's Soulja Boy. And I just think it's funny, because Soulja Boy is just a character. SouljaBoyTellHim.com. I missed completely the trash can. Alright, whatever. Next up. The Fellowship of the Ring soundtrack. I found this at the CD station. No, not CD station. A record store. What am I talking about? And I like Lord of the Rings. Probably the best trilogy of all time. It's probably the best trilogy of all time. Probably my 3rd favorite trilogy of all time. Maybe 2nd favorite. I probably have Star Wars and Indiana Jones ahead of it. But I think just in terms of just movie, it's objectively the best. Fellowship of the Ring soundtrack. It's just a classic soundtrack. Great movies. Fellowship might be my favorite. Maybe. I don't know. Return of the King's really good too. But yeah, Fellowship of the Ring soundtrack. Next up, Prince, 1999. Fantastic album. Probably my 2nd favorite by him. 3rd, I don't know. It's top 3. It's fantastic. 1999. International Lover. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Little Red Corvette. Yeah, I think International Lover is probably my favorite track. It's really sensual. And Prince is moaning at the end. It's great. Good album cover too. I constantly forget that I own this. This is one of the first CDs that I ever got too. Prince 1999. I can't even say that. Next up, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. This is one of the first CDs that I bought. I went on Amazon. I was like, you know what? I want to buy some CDs. So I just bought, bulk bought just a bunch of my albums that I liked at the time. And I still like this album, but it's not my favorite Kanye album. It's probably my 3rd favorite? 4th favorite? It comes with a cool poster. I should probably hang this up since I have it. It comes with the lady on the front and Kanye on the back with the credits for each song on the back. That's just Kanye standing up. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I like this album a lot. Devil in a New Dress is definitely my favorite. Runaway's up there. I don't know. It was probably my favorite when I bought it, but now I'm definitely partial to Ye and Yeezus a lot more. But yeah, I mean, it's a classic. It's heralded as one of the best hip-hop albums of all time for a reason. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm saying stuff too fast. Next up, Speaking in Tongues by the Talking Heads. Really great album. It's upside down. Speaking in Tongues by Talking Heads. Really great album. Moon Rocks is probably my favorite. Girlfriend is Better is really good. It's just a great album. I haven't really listened to much Talking Heads. I've listened to Born Under Punches, and this one. I think this is the only two that I've listened front to back. But yeah, I mean, Burning Down the House obviously is a classic. This must be the place Naive Melody is used on TikTok a lot by a bunch of indie nerds. But yeah, Speaking in Tongues, Talking Heads. Great album. Good cover, too. I really like this cover. But yeah, Moon Rocks is probably my favorite. That's just a really funky song, as are most Talking Heads songs. Next up, Fragile by Yes. I only bought this because I really like Roundabout, because it's used as the close. That was upside down, too. Fragile by Yes. I only bought this because I really like Roundabout, because it's used in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is my favorite series. That's like the closing song. It's just a fantastic song. But I really haven't listened to this album front to back, and I probably should. If I own music, I should probably listen to all the albums front to back. But I just don't do that sometimes, because I just see a CD and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. And that's what I did with this one. It's a great cover. I think my aunt has a shirt with this on it. But yeah, Roundabout's really the only reason I bought this. I like Yes. And it's funny, like, whenever you ask, like, when I asked my aunt if that was, like, a Yes shirt, she said yes. And I thought that was just funny. It's just a funny little thing. It was like, is that a Yes shirt? She said yes. And it could have been, like, a whole, like, Abbott and Costello bit where we went back and forth. But, you know, we didn't, because we're normal people. But, yeah. Fragile. But, yes. They also have really good album art. Next up, Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. Look, it's just his feet. That's the sticker that I peeled off that had the price on it. This is another one that I haven't really listened front to back. I like Off the Wall. I like the title track. I like Rock With You. I like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. But I really haven't listened to this album front to back. I just saw Off the Wall. I was like, you know what? Yes. Yes. Oh my God, what am I talking about? But yeah, Off the Wall. I bought it because I know it. I haven't listened to it front to back. Probably heard all the songs in passing, but I haven't listened to it front to back. Off the Wall by Yes. Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. It's just his feet, just his legs. That's pretty cool. Thriller by Michael Jackson. I have listened to this album front to back hundreds of times. One of the best albums of all time. Baby Be Mine is definitely my favorite, which I feel like is kind of an underrated track, which is kind of crazy to say because it's Michael Jackson, but I feel like, you don't really see that song get a lot of praise compared to, Billie Jean, Thriller, The Girl Is Mine. Human Nature is also really good. This whole album is just fantastic. It's Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's literally like one of the most iconic albums of all time. One of the most iconic covers of all time. Look at him. Get a focus there. Who cares about focus? This is the Wave of Dawker channel. But yeah, Baby Be Mine is definitely my favorite. Just a great album. You don't need me to tell you that. You've probably heard that 1,000 times. Next up, Heroes and Villains by Metro Boomin. I found this at Target. And I was kind of mad. Like, I don't know if you can see that. There's like a little crack in the cover. You can see me. I'm going to do this for the rest of this little clip. Where it's just me holding it up. Heroes and Villains by Metro Boomin. One of my favorite albums of last year. Obviously, one of the best producers in the game. Just a really talented, like, collection of rappers on this. Young Nudy, 21 Savage, Travis Scott, Young Thug. My favorite, upon first listen, was Walk 'Em Down by 21 Savage and Mustafa, just because that beat switch, like, halfway through was fantastic. People kind of, like, hate on that song just because of the beat switch, but I think Mustafa kind of carries that song. Like, I like 21 Savage's bit, but Mustafa's part's just, I just think it's better. But at this point in time, Trance is probably my favorite, just because I like Young Thug. I like Travis Scott. But, I mean, it's fantastic. Like, back to front, front to back. Just a really fantastically produced album. Probably my favorite Metro Boomin album. Like, Metro Boomin project. I'm excited to see what he does with Future and JID. But, yeah. Heroes and Villains, Metro Boomin. Look, they're doing the Wish You Were Here cover. How cool is that? Next up, Charlie Brown Christmas by the Vince Guaraldi Trio. Fantastic album. I love my jazz. And it's probably the best collection of Christmas music that really makes you feel in the spirit. This and probably like the Carpenters Christmas album. Because, damn, those songs really get me in the mood. But this is just fantastic. This is definitely probably my favorite Christmas. Like, Charlie Brown Christmas is probably my favorite Christmas movie. I mean, it's really a special, but it's like an hour, but it's definitely my favorite. And it's just like the piano, this is fantastic. Christmas Time is Here Instrumental is probably my favorite, just because that's like the song that really gets me in the mood. And that's a song that my dad and I always quote. There's like a bit in Arrested Development where like Michael Cera, like he like walks around with his head down. Like I think like David Cross's character does it too, but it's just like the dun dun dun, and we just do that. Like whenever like we like jokingly make each other sad, like I'll just be like dun, and we'll just walk away. But yeah, this is a fantastic album. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. You didn't really, and I don't know. You know it. I don't need to explain it to you. Next up, Apollo 21 by Steve Lacy. Not my favorite project of his. This is one of the ones that I bought when I was like buying a CD. It's like, oh, I'm gonna buy a bunch of CDs. The CD itself is dope. Like, this is a dope CD, and it's cool seeing like different photos from the shoot. Like, this is probably the best cover of his. Like, I think this is a really, really neat cover. Really cool colors. And at the time of purchasing it, it probably was my favorite. But I think the Lo-Fi's is probably my favorite at this point. And Gemini Rights is up there too. Like, Gemini Rights, like a lot of the songs have really been growing on me. Like Give You the World, but well, that's a issue for another day. But I mean, this is still fantastic. I love all the Steve Lacy stuff. I've been a fan of him for a while. Hate CD is probably my favorite at this point. Like Me is also really good. Love Too Fast is great. That's probably like his best guitar work, I'd say. Like outside of the internet. But yeah, I mean, this is just a fantastic album. I think the only songs I don't really like are the outro. That's probably it. And like Playground, Basement Jack, and Guide were like my favorites for a while. But I've kind of grown out of those songs. And I've gotten into, you know, Hate CD and Love Too Fast a lot more. Like, oh, like I don't know. This is a fantastic album. Check it out if you haven't. Steve Lacy's fantastic. Don't let the bad habit, you know, TikTokification of his music alter your view of him. Like, his stuff that really isn't popular is really fantastic. I like Steve Lacy a lot. Apollo 21. Next up, Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino. Definitely my favorite project by him. I sound like such a nerd saying project. I'm not Fantano. This is a really cool, like inside of the CD. This is, like I said, 100% my favorite project of his. It's just so fantastic. Like, oh, whoa. Like, the fact that he just went, like, pretty far outside of his comfort zone, or just, like, what he's been doing. And I think he did, like, a similar thing. Like, not as much, like, funk, but, like, I think 3:15:20 was also a really fantastic album. But yeah, Awaken My Love is just it's just incredible. Like, oh my god, it's so good. Like, Me and Your Mama obviously has had its time in the sun. That's, you know, I don't want to, like, say it's like a TikTok song, but I mean, like, it grew exponentially. Like, even people that don't really know Childish Gambino or, like, listen to most of his stuff, like, they know Me and Your Mama. They know Redbone especially. But Stand Tall is probably my favorite. I had a very tender moment with that song when my grandfather passed away. Like, that song just really kind of hit me in the right spot. It got me, like, sobbing. Yeah, Stand Tall is really fantastic. This is just a really good album, top to bottom. California is probably the weakest on this, but I love it. I mean, like, Have Some Love, Boogeyman, Zombies, like, those songs, like, he really taps into, like, the funk and, like, the soulful singing that he's able to do. Like, he has a fantastic voice. I love Donald Glover. I love Childish Gambino. Awaken My Love. 100% my favorite Gambino project. Next up, Can't Buy a Thrill by Steve Lacy. Definitely my favorite album by them. I was very excited to find this on CD. Actually, my friend found it. I was with my friends at a record store, and like he was like, "Dude, Can't Buy a Thrill." That's it. Did I say it was Only Fool? No, it's Can't Buy a Thrill. I can't remember if I said that. But yeah, really, this looks like AI. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, this is a 70s album, and like it looks like that. Like, that's dope. But yeah, that's probably my favorite. Only Fool would say that's one of my favorite Steely Dan songs. But I mean, Do It Again, Dirty. Like, the whole thing, top to bottom. Like, the last two tracks, like the last three tracks probably are the weakest for me. Brooklyn, Change of the Guard, Turn That Heartbeat Over Again. But I mean, overall, it's a fantastic project. I love Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. I love what they're able to do. I just love Fagen's voice. And yeah, this is just a great album. Check it out if you haven't. I'm a big Steely Dan fan, and I'd always suggest them to people who haven't listened to them. Once again, another Steely Dan Gaucho. I got this recently at a record store in Havre de Grace. It wasn't even a record store, actually. It was like a, it had like CDs and like vintage stuff. It was pretty cool. I also really like this album. This is probably my second favorite or third favorite. I think Asia is probably my second favorite, but Gaucho is fantastic. Glamour Profession is probably my favorite, but the title track is also really good. Hey 19 is really great. It's just a good album. I really like the feel of it. Really cool cover too. Like, I just love that. I'd love to have that as like a painting. Yeah, this is a great album. My Rival's really good too. Gaucho. Ah! Next up, Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. I got this for like $3. It's an essential album, one of the best of all time. I don't really need to tell you that, but I love this album. Probably my second favorite of Pink Floyd's. Like, I Wish You Were Here is still my favorite, probably. But yeah, man, it's great. Us and Them. It's probably my favorite Pink Floyd track overall. Like, that song is just awesome. But I mean, top to bottom, like, it's fantastic. It's one of the most iconic album covers of all time. Pink Floyd does a good job of that. But yeah, I don't really need to tell you that much about Dark Side of the Moon. It's Dark Side of the Moon. Next up, Igor by Tyler, the Creator. Still my favorite Tyler album. One of the first that I got when I was buying CDs. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy CDs because I want CDs. Pretty cool CD, too. I keep saying CDs. What do I mean? I'm talking about CDs, but I mean, that's cool. Look, it's Igor. But yeah, definitely still my favorite. I listened to this album, like, I feel like a million times in 2021. And, like, a lot of the songs are still in rotation. Puppet's probably my favorite. It's one of my favorite Tyler songs in general. I Think is also really great. Earthquake, obviously. Timeless track. But, I mean, top to bottom, it's fantastic. Are We Still Friends? Like, it's just awesome. And it's cool to see Tyler go in a new direction. And then still kind of, you know, come back with Call Me If You Get Lost and still feel like, you know, the Tyler we're used to seeing. But Igor is definitely my favorite of his. Because he taps into a sound that's much more my speed. Like, I obviously love rap and hip-hop, like traditional rap and hip-hop, like the stuff he was doing on, like, Wolf and Flower Boy. But the sound that he tapped into in Igor is, like, that's, like, my, like, favorite kind of feel. Like, it's, like, I don't know. I liked it a lot. Production was great. Tyler's great. Igor. And also this has Boyfriend. And Boyfriend's great because it has the Charlie Wilson bit in the beginning. Like, you only find this on the CDs and the vinyls. And I think Boyfriend's fantastic. So, Igor. You probably listen to it. I don't know. Last two, my GOAT, my angel, my lady. We got Sling and Immunity. It's a constant battle every day of whether I prefer Immunity or Sling. It just depends on what mood I'm in. Like, I think top to bottom, I think I enjoy Immunity more. But some songs on Sling just be hitting sometimes. You know? I don't know. I think I'm an Immunity guy. It's tough. Because my favorite Clairo song is Sinking. And that's on Immunity. Yeah, and actually, no, who am I kidding? Immunity is definitely my favorite. I just love this album. Like, oh my god, it's so good. Like, Bags and Sophia are her, like, most popular songs, I'd say. But I mean, like, I Wouldn't Ask You. Like, Sinking is probably, like, one of the most slept on Clairo, like, songs in their discography. White Flag's fantastic. Like, I just love this album. Yeah, I'm an Immunity guy. But Sling is fantastic. I saw Clairo in concert last summer. God damn, I felt like a while ago. Last July. And it was part of her Sling tour, so I got to hear all those songs. And she didn't really play much of them. She played Pretty Girl, she played Forever, she played Bags, she played Sophia. I think she played North, too. It was a pretty good set list, but I wish, like, I don't think I'll ever be able to see Sinking in concert unless, like, I go to a concert and, like, put up a sign saying, like, play Sinking. But, I mean, Clairo's my GOAT. Definitely my favorite artist. I love her songs. Like, 3 of her songs were in my top 5 this year. If it wasn't my top artist, Cardi's my favorite. Not my favorite, but he was my top. I love Playboi Carti. I don't have any Carti CDs or records. Or vinyl. But, yeah, I'm just rambling now. But Clairo, my GOAT. Check her out if you haven't. She's just a fantastic listen. I love her. She's the best. Go Clairo. Go music. Go CDs. Go Wave a Dalker. Like and subscribe, and peace out.